This is Radio Now 95.3 FM. Come for the news, stay for informed conversations.
Because the factors that drive or that has been driving the inflation rate that we'll be having are still at work. And the government has not done much or enough, to control those factors. And so they'll keep driving inflation up and up and up. You've mentioned it. Food inflation. Even if you pick food alone, you see that the food insecurity in the land is not something that, is going to be handled so soon from what we have seen. Okay? Talking about food, you go down to how you get food, whether you are importing food or you are producing here. If you take the local production, you go back to farming. How is farming going on? Farmers are in various localities. You consider the areas of Nigeria we call the food baskets of the nation. You see that those are the most ravaged areas, by bandits and all kinds of, social ills. And so farmers in those areas are being dislodged. In fact, most of them are internally displaced persons, camps across the country. Mm-hmm. And so they're no longer in a place to continue to farm. And so once they can't farm, what do you produce? What do you feed on? I want to stop there for now, and we'll talk later.
So, most of the projections that we saw from, I think, the first quarter of this year had said that, look, we will see inflation drop to within the 20s, right? 28% was one projection, 24% was another projection by the end of this year. These latest figures are for the month of May. We're already halfway through the year. I don't know that I've seen any moves within the last month that indicate that June figures might be lower. Do you think it's time for us to review whatever the indices we use to project 28% or 24%?
Those projections were false. We are wrong ab initio. You people have been interacting with me. I've always told you that this inflation rate will continue to go up, at least the whole of this year. The best that can happen is that it will be going up. The rate of going up will be decreasing, which is what we are experiencing. It will go up, but not by 200 or 300 basis points as we used to see. So the rate of increase is decreasing, if you like. That's what we see. So that instead of coming to this with whatever they are talking about, you'll be talking about the thing hitting up to 35% at the close of the year. Now we're almost at 4%. 34%. So between in the next 6 to 7 months, we are saying that it's likely to hit 35. That's the best they can get.
Mr. Okeke, if I may, and you're right. Every time we've spoken to you, you have faulted the figures, the projections for the end of the year. But the reason why I asked the question is this. Usually, projections mean that this is how the economy will be managed towards whatever that projection is. If the projection is wrong, that probably indicates that the management strategy is also wrong, if you like. Should the government look towards reconfiguring the information they have so that they can readjust and tackle things head on?
You have said it. Consider, for example, what the Central Bank of Nigeria has been doing in terms of monetary policy rate, which is what it says we want to use to fight inflation. Okay? Just within these 5 months, of the first 5 months of the year, that MPR has moved from around 18.75 to where we are now, 26.25, just within these first 5 months. Okay? What that means is that people who need money have such very high interest rates at which to borrow, which will range between that 5 and 40%. If you are in business and you raise money at that price, at that rate, okay, whatever you produce, whatever you do with that money, you are going to pass it over to the ultimate consumers at higher prices. So that will further reflect in, rising inflation on that one alone. Okay, before you come to the other side of rate of exchange. Naira rate of exchange, okay? If you spend so much naira, to procure dollar to import, okay, at 1,500 per dollar, if you like. When you import, you are still going to reflect it in the cost, you pass on to the ultimate consumer. Then you add cost of transportation because we are still importing PMS. Okay? So the price at the pump is still high. In fact, we are still having scarcity and all that. So when it will cost an arm and a leg to transport what you have produced, to where it is sold and all that, you factor that, okay, into your pricing. And all this will be reflected in pushing up the rate of inflation up. These forces and factors are still at play, and government has not done anything about it.
So,
you understand?
Now,
so that's why I'm telling you to keep going on.
Right. Now, the World Bank actually says that tightening interest rates may not rein in inflation. Do you expect the CBN to begin cutting rates or to begin balancing fiscal and monetary policies better?
You have said it. Instead of using one hand, which is monetary policy, to want to rein in inflation, there should be a kind of deliberate collaboration between monetary and fiscal policies, for them to do anything serious, to tame, if you like, inflation. You understand? So there must be serious collaboration between fiscal and monetary policies for them to achieve anything serious in terms of bringing down the rate of inflation. And it's not something that will happen in one day. It won't happen in 1 month. You understand?
Right.
So it's something they have to do deliberately and consistently.
Mr. Okoike, thank you very much for your time and your expertise on this conversation.